guys, welcome to my second ever candle review. Hopefully I have a better idea of what I'm doing, at least a little bit than I did in the first one, which was disastrous. But anyway, today, this is a brand that I don't think anyone's really familiar with. It's kind of one of those, like, cheap dollar store type brands. I'm not even the one who bought this. This is the Madre's candle, but she's letting me review it. But this is by a brand called Seasonal Scents, and it's in Cinnamon Twist, which I love anything cinnamon, so I don't care that it is Cinco de Mayo and that we are nearing summer. I have no problem doing an autumnal or Christmassy scent. Not an issue to me, because Cinco de Mayo, spicy, spices. In my brain, it makes sense. It may not for you, but for me it does. This is a wax soy blend candle, so that's kind of interesting to me. And it's 11 ounces, which, crazily enough, this contains the same amount as this. These are the same. I'm not sure how, but apparently the shape of the container aesthetically makes a huge difference in how much it looks and feels like is in there, because this to me seems like has considerably more than that. Maybe it's just me, maybe you feel the other way around, I don't know, but apparently it's the same amount in both. But anywho, it's pretty plain, just a little mason jar that it's in. It doesn't have much info on the bottom, doesn't have scent notes or anything, so I'm out on a limb to have to guess these myself. This was $5.99 at Rite Aid, in case anybody was wondering. It does say that on the bottom. So not quite dollar store, but not much higher either. It's a single wick candle. As you can see, it's not quite centered. It's a bit off-center towards this one side. But I'm hoping, because it's a fairly small round opening on this, that it might still pool out and be okay with that. I'm not sure. I haven't burned this yet, because sometimes after you burn it, they smell different. So I want to do a pre-burn overview of this, stop the video, burn it, and come back with my post-burn thoughts and notes that I took while it was burning. So, anyways, the smell on cold, it is very cinnamony. Surprise, surprise there. Kind of like an air freshener. But it's one of those cinnamon scents where you can literally taste it as you smell it. It's kind of crazy. It makes you salivate. So I'm thinking there's some amount of legit cinnamon in there, even though it also kind of has an artificial type of a feel to it. But there was another scent I feel like I was picking up on earlier that I'm not getting now out of it. Like there's an almost chemical smell. I'm hoping that that's not a thing that amplifies as it burns, because some candles like to take on this weird kind of kerosene-y type of a smell while they burn, and it's really gross. Ironically, the last candle that I reviewed absolutely had that issue, and the more I burned it, the more and more evident that part became, and it was just freaking horrible. I have since burned it all the way down just to kill that candle and upcycle the jar. In case anyone was curious about the state of that candle, it is dead and done. So, hopefully this will not have to suffer the same fate, although this one isn't mine to make that judgment call with, if it is. So, it'll probably be a power-out candle for Madre if it turns out to be gross, but I don't think it'll be gross. Cinnamon candles generally aren't gross. Generally, they're pretty strong, and they kick you in the face with their strength a lot of times, but they're typically not gross, so at least there's that. Now, it doesn't say anything about approximate burn time on it, but because it's 11 ounces, and because it's about on par with what's in this, I know from what is said on the website for these that they approximate something like 20 to 30 hours or something, or 25 to 35. I think it was 20 to 30. But being a different type of wax may also affect the burn time as well. Does this one say what type of wax it is? I'm looking. I don't think it says. These are made by the Chesapeake Bay Candle Company, though, so I may find more info on them there. I just noticed that as well. Yeah, it doesn't say what type of wax this uses on the candle itself, which is kind of a bummer, honestly. Yeah, it doesn't say it on the label either. Okay, so I don't know if they're 100% comparable that way, but just by the amount that's in it, if they're comparable from that, it might be somewhere in the same realm. But because it's soy blended with wax, I feel like I read somewhere that soy doesn't burn as hot, and if that's true, that means it's probably going to have a longer lifespan than the other did. So, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to cut this video here. I'm gonna burn this little sucker for a while, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell you more about how it went. Okay, slide update. It's been burning for about 2.5 hours. It looks like it's basically just tunneling. I'm gonna give it a little while longer to see if maybe it pools out, because last time I checked on this about half an hour ago, the pool was maybe about half as big around as it is now. So it may self-correct. I'm giving it as good of a shot as I can. If I need to, I'll do the tinfoil trick, but I mean, I'd rather not, but I can tell this is not a hot burner. Like, I can touch this and not even burn my finger, so that's probably half the problem right there, and that's because of the soy wax. So, just an update. So, I will let you know how it pans out. Okay, guys, so post-burn review time on this. You can probably tell by the look on my face how this is gonna go already. This candle leaves a lot to be desired in a lot of ways. It also failed in ways that I wasn't quite expecting it to. So we're just gonna talk about them. So for as strongly as the cinnamon is scented when you smell it on cold, and even smelling it now that it's been burned, still smells the same as it did before it, so that didn't change. I was expecting this to be like basically every other cinnamon scented candle I've ever owned in my life, where almost as soon as you burn it, like the whole room is just filled and overpowered with lovely, beautiful cinnamon scent. That never happened with this one at all. I had it going for like 3 friggin' hours, and unless I was about this far away from it, I couldn't even smell the damn thing. Or if I got my face about like this far above it, I could smell it a little bit. A little bit. So that was already a strike against it right there. I was like, so it's damn near unscented. That is the biggest disappointment ever for how strong it smells when it's just cold, but lit. There's like no throw whatsoever to it. I would say the throw on this is like maybe a 2, if not a 1. It's terrible. So there's that. Also, as I pointed out with this unscented wick, it did prove to be a problem. It didn't pool out to the sides. Even when I did the tinfoil trick on it, it couldn't get this side over here. It never reached it. I let this thing go because I was trying to let it organically burn out to the sides and pool out, but at best was what I showed you in the previous clip, where it was like maybe 2/3 the way out, and then it just wanted to tunnel and just go straight down. It did not want to pool out. But I still waited, thinking maybe it's gonna do the thing. So my sister came in, we were talking for a while. I kind of honestly forgot that the candle was even going. And all of a sudden, I see her look behind me. I'm like, what? She's like, did your candle just burn? Like, no. Did your candle just blow itself out? And I was like, candles don't blow themselves out. And I turn around and I see the telltale smoke above it. And yeah, sure enough, the damn thing was out. So, that's weird. So I get up, I walk over to it, I expect the wick to be buried in the wax, and it's not. It's still very much out of the wax. This should not have gone out. There was no window open, there was no drafts, nothing was near it to blow it out. I don't know what happened. Just a fluke. So I wasn't sure if maybe the wick was just faulty and wouldn't burn anymore for some reason. I wasn't sure if this was going to become a cotton ball candle or what. So I went and got my lighter, I relit the damn thing, and it lit right back up. And I kept an eye on it for a few minutes to see if it was going to go right back out, like some of them do when they get puny wicks in the room, but no, it stayed lit. So, okay, that's not... I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened there. It just went out. That's a fluke. But once I lit it again, it was fine. So I was like, okay. There's a little bit of wick curling, but no mushroom tops whatsoever here. None. That is untrimmed. Just a little bit of curling. No mushroom top. Interesting. But that also tells me what I already knew. The combo of that, as well as the fact that it wouldn't pool out any further than that, and how long it took to even get that far. Yeah, this is where the soy wax is coming into play. It doesn't burn as hot, and when it doesn't burn as hot, it doesn't perform as well. It's probably why it didn't have as good of a throw either as a normal wax-based candle, or beeswax-based candle. So, alright, fine. I got really annoyed with this. I whipped out my aluminum foil, and I know the potential dangers of flash points. I keep a close eye on it when I do the tinfoil thing. All I wanted to do was just pull out to the edges. Just once. All I wanted it to do. Like I said, even with that, it couldn't make it to this side because of the uncentered wick. If it had been closer to the center, I believe it would have reached it, because on the other side it did. There was a couple spots where it didn't, but it mostly did. So, there's that. But, while it was lit, despite not having, like, virtually any throw whatsoever, what it did have was a little bit of that weird chemical smell that I was mentioning to you guys, smelling it on cold before I even lit it. I was like, I really hope it doesn't, like, have that be a thing while it's burning. Yeah, that was basically the only thing that was smellable while it was lit, unless you got right up close to it. So, needless to say, there was no scent lingering after it was gone, because there was no scent to begin with. But, when I had the tin foil on it, that was the only point at which there was any throw at all. And just barely. I mean, granted, I have a big bedroom, but I even, like, moved this into my bathroom just to double check. And yeah, no. Apparently it's not the room size that's throwing it off. It just has virtually no throw. But, sorry, there's a gnat. But, with the tinfoil on it, it threw maybe like a 3.5. So still just barely throwing at all. So if you want this to throw scent, this is not the candle for you, my dears. This is not going to do shit for you. If you just want a candle to light for ambiance, just for a warm glow and for looks, it'd be great for that. Or if you want to smell it on cold, great for that. But if you want it to actually make your room smell like cinnamon, this is absolutely not going to do it, no matter what you do, and that really sucks. So ultimately, what would I rate this candle? I would have to say, I mean, I like the aesthetic of it being in a mason jar. I like that it's cinnamon. I don't like that it has no throw, but I also don't like that the wick isn't centered. I don't like that it doesn't burn very hot, so it can't pool. There's a lot of things I don't like, but there are a couple things I do like, so I mean, I'm not going to give it the lowest possible rating. Well, honestly, I'm going to give this like a 3 out of 10 because of its performance, or lack thereof. So, very disappointed. For $5.99, I would expect something to at least do something. I would expect this type of behavior out of a dollar store candle, honestly. And yet, I've had dollar store candles that threw at like a 9. Go figure. So, I don't even know. One thing I don't see listed anywhere on here, by the way, it doesn't mention anything about being a lead-free wick. So, that may also be a thing with this little guy, just to keep in mind, because most candles love to throw it out there that lead-free wick, which, okay, that's definitely good. I'd rather not have lead poisoning. This doesn't even mention that. So, it might. So, anyways, yeah, it's about 3. It's not great. again, if you want it for the aesthetic, or if you want just smelling cold, knock yourselves out. It doesn't cost that much, but I feel like for the money that you could spend on this, you could get a really nice candle that smells like this and actually throws, that may be just as cute and actually does better, you know? I don't know. $5.99. It's not a lot for a candle in the grand scheme of things, but for $5.99, I also want it to work. So I would say maybe, like, this is a good power out candle, you know? So you have a candle that's not, like, clashing with a million different candles going at once. It's not gonna throw, like, at all, so this would probably be great for that. So, there are uses for it, just not for home fragrance, unfortunately. So, anyways, that is about all I have to say about this candle. I wish that I could say better things about it, because I really wanted to like this one. I thought I was gonna love it, and then it just performed so poorly that I can't. I can't. Sorry, little candle. But anyways, that's it for me on this one. So, as usual, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a big ol' like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Have you ever even heard of this brand before? Because up until this candle, I have not. And frankly, I think I see why. Let me know your thoughts down below, as well as anything else you feel like leaving me. Make sure you follow my social media accounts. They're all listed down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, which helps so much more than you could possibly know, the donation link, as always, is in the description. So anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.